What is going on, you guys? This is Tech HD coming at you with a brand new video, and today I am super excited to be unboxing and reviewing a brand new gaming chair from DXRacer, and this one is their Air series. This is a brand new thing that they are doing, and this is DXRacer's version of a breathable mesh chair, which is extremely really cool because a lot of the gaming chair organizations, companies are making breathable mesh systems, and DXRacer has been around for years now, and so this is their version of it. And if you guys have been around my channel for a while now, I have been rocking with a DXRacer chair for over 3 years now, and I've honestly loved it. So of course we went for the white and red version because that is what my channel is based around, and as always I'm gonna have everything linked down in the description below, and I partner with DXRacer for this review, so you guys can use code TechHD to get $30 off if you guys are interested in getting a DXRacer chair. But without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this, take a look at this, do the installation, talk about the features and specs, and then overall what I think about this. Now diving into the unboxing, taking a look at what we get, you have the 5 base covers. I of course went with the red option, but this differs on the model you get. We also have the quick installation guide, the 5 casters, the hydraulic piston, the hydraulic sleeve, the 2 side shells, and the wrench. We also have the aluminum base, the multifunctional tilt mechanism, the headrest, the seat base with the armrest already installed, which is really nice, and finally the backrest. Now getting into the installation, we start by adding the 5 base covers onto the aluminum base. Then we start to apply the casters as well onto the base. After that's done, we put the hydraulic piston and the sleeve into the base, and you are all set with that. Next, we'll want to install the tilt mechanism onto the seat base, so we start to remove the screws from the seat base and then start to line up the tilt mechanism and have the hole for the hydraulic piston be in the back of the base. Screw them all in, and then we can apply the 2 levers on the side of the mechanism. After that, we are able to apply the seat base to the hydraulic piston and begin to install the backrest. Start to remove the screws from the backrest. Once that's done, line up the hole of the backrest to the seat base and begin to screw them in. Once you're done with that, you could put the cover and it just connects through magnets. Finally, to apply the headrest, you just slide it in into the slots and you'll hear a click, and you can adjust the height that best fits you. Now taking a look at the build, the white, red, and black areas are hard plastic, which feels somewhat cheap but is actually durable. The frame, however, is in all steel, so underneath the plastic is a rigid steel skeleton, which really increases the durability of the chair. There are also suspension springs to create a responsive cushioning to increase the durability and longevity of the chair. On the back, you have the rail-mounted lumbar support, which is a flexible plastic build, and you could easily lower and raise it to match your lower back. Lastly, and most importantly, is a high resilient breathable mesh on the backrest and seat base, and this is of course to decrease heat and moisture buildup and improve airflow while at the same time being comfortable. It definitely has that gaming aesthetic and a somewhat of a futuristic vibe. Some may like it, some may not. Now taking a look at the 4D armrest, you have the lever to raise and lower the armrest. Then you have a button on the inside of the armrest to move it forward and backwards. And you can also turn it 45 degrees inward and outward, so you have a lot of flexibility with the armrest. You also have the middle button to move the armrest inward and outward from yourself. The Air series can recline to 135 degrees. You can also use the paddle on the left to recline even further back and be less stiff if you like, and on the bottom of the chair you can adjust the tilt angle to either be more stiff or loose. Now this is the D7200 model, so it has a recommended height of 6'2" and a recommended weight of up to 250 pounds. This is the red and white version, but they have a black option, a white and cyan version, and a yellow, red, and blue option for the D7200 model, and this is going for $499. Now I've tested this chair for over a month now, gaming and streaming for 4+ hours. On top of that, I'm editing and typing scripts for videos for many hours a night, so I really need a comfortable chair, and the Air series accomplishes that. The DXRacer Air series really takes some time to get used to, going from a regular non-mesh style chair. At first it felt weird and definitely different, but then the more I used it, it felt more comfortable and very breathable. I never felt hot in the chair, and everything overall felt like great quality. It doesn't squeak or make any noise at all, and the mesh hasn't lost its shape or gotten loose throughout the time. So that's really good, and only time will tell how it performs. I mentioned that the outer shell is mainly plastic, but that didn't really seem to bother me personally, and it had no effect on the overall quality. My body doesn't touch the plastic, so it doesn't really affect me. I was able to easily game and stream for a long period of time with no issues and do some late night editing, as well as without the need of standing up and stretching for a bit. I also love the membrane foam headrest. It's super soft and it's large, so it supports anyone's head and neck. I love the way that it's installed because it doesn't move, and so you don't need to constantly readjust it. It just stays in place. The same thing goes with the lumbar support. You just adjust it one time and it just stays in place. It doesn't move and it's very easy to adjust it. I also love the 4D armrest because it gives me a lot of flexibility on how I want it to be. The seat base on the Air series feels like it's a bit bigger and deeper, so I feel like I'm sitting farther back, which feels more comfortable compared to the other gaming chairs I've tested in the past. Now, one major thing about the Air series is that this is a modular design. So currently on the website, you have the ability to purchase a footrest, a cup holder, and a multifunctional bracket to hold a phone, tablet, and laptop, which I think is pretty cool. And I even see some images of there being a boom arm that goes over the chair to hold a tablet, and it seems like it's mounted with some extra screws that's on the back where the headrest is mounted. And I even see an add-on back piece shell that has RGB, which looks futuristic and has that gamer aesthetics. So it seems like DXRacer isn't done coming out with modular parts, so I can't wait to see what else they come out with. They also have some fabric covers, which is interesting to see, and it seems like that there's 2 versions as of right now, but hopefully down the road they come out with more options and colors. Alright you guys, so now what I want to do is a little bit of a comparison between the Air series versus the Racing series from DXRacer. And the major things that we're going to be pointing out is the lumbar support, the headrest, and the seat itself. So this one is the regular Racing series. It is about the same configurations as how the Air series is. And one of the things that I want to mention that I really like about the Air series is the fact that the headrest does not move. It doesn't need to be adjusted once you have it set to the way that you want it to. You can just leave it like that. You don't have to readjust it the next time you sit on it or anything like that. Whereas with the regular Racing series, no matter what, if you sit down, you adjust it, you go away, and then the next day you have to readjust it again because this thing constantly moves and is very flimsy, whereas this one is actually like screwed onto the chair. That's what I really like about the Air series versus the regular Racing non-mesh series. And then same thing goes when it comes to the lumbar support. Major thing is these strings. You have to lower and raise it and adjust it every time you sit down. Sometimes you have to just like realign it just a little bit. Whereas like with the Air series, it just clicks in. That's about it. You don't have to touch it ever again unless you have a friend or family member sitting down and then they adjust it for themselves. Then you have to readjust it. But basically, once you have it set for yourself, that is about it. It doesn't move or anything like that. I could just get up next day, come back, sit down. It's going to be exactly the way that I want it to be. Same thing goes with the headrest. That is one thing that I really like about the Air series is that they just lock in place. You don't have to readjust it every time. Whereas with the regular Racing series, you do when it comes to the lumbar and the headrest usually. And that's one thing that I typically don't like as far as with the regular Racing series or any gaming chairs in general. Now, one of the major things that I do want to point out are the seat base itself. Now, immediately when you sit on the Air series version, the width itself is actually much wider and it's actually much deeper. So I'm actually sitting farther back compared to the regular Racing series. And the Racing series is much more narrow. And then you have the wings over here that makes you feel like you're more in the actual chair. Whereas here, I have a lot more space whenever it comes to sitting down. And like I said, you could visually see that the width of the Air series is much wider. And then same thing goes with going deeper. Like I feel like I'm sitting farther back, which is actually beneficial because it helps when it comes to my posture, which I actually personally like on the Air series, and it actually feels like it's more comfortable compared to the regular Racing series. I feel like I'm sitting a little bit more further, and so I feel like it's not that well when it comes to my posture or anything like that. So that's one thing that I noticed when it comes to the Air series. And then one of the things that I don't like as far as the Air series goes is that it doesn't seem to go as high as the regular Racing series. You can actually tell by the armrest. This one is much higher, and then same thing goes here. This one is much higher than the regular Air series. So that's one thing that I tend to notice is for some reason I feel like I'm sitting down much lower than the regular Racing series. And I feel like that's something when it comes to the hydraulics. Maybe you could get a better hydraulic piston and replace it, and you could elevate a little bit higher if you want to, or you could get different wheels, maybe a little bit taller wheels, and that will help as well. But by default, the Racing series seems to be a little bit taller than the Air series, so just one note about that. And the last thing that I want to point out is the comfort quality on the Air series versus the regular non-mesh Racing series. One thing that I do want to point out is that this lumbar thing really starts to hurt after a while, to the point that I got tired of using it. So I bought a better lumbar with like much better memory foam and it just feels so much more comfortable. So I actually swapped this one out with this one, and it has been such an improvement. The headrest itself I have no problem with, just major thing is that readjustment every once in a while. But really comparing to the Air series, I feel like I don't need to add anything else to it, just a little bit of padding on the lumbar support. But since this is modular, you should be able to replace it if they ever come out with one that has some padding or memory foam. That's the one thing that I would want. But overall, it's very comfortable. It's much more comfortable than what this actually provides. The lumbar system and the mesh system just feels so much lighter, more breathable, and it just feels a lot more comfortable. And like I said, since I'm sitting farther back, I feel like that my posture is better as well. So I really like that. And the headrest itself is larger. Memory foam feels really nice and comfortable. So like the overall quality on the Air series is far better, in my opinion, than the regular racing series. And this goes for any gaming chair in general. Like this is very identical to any other brand gaming chairs. So this is like the major comparison that I wanted to do. But since these are both DXRacer chairs, that's why I wanted to compare a regular mesh series versus a non-mesh one. So my overall thoughts on the DXRacer Air series is I overall love the quality of the chair. The build quality is amazing when it comes to the steel skeleton frame. The suspension springs are great to hold the mesh and increase longevity of the chair. And the mesh itself is comfortable and feels nice for long periods of time. So far, I haven't ripped the mesh or stretched it out, so it's good quality from what I've experienced. I also like the seat base being a bit larger, and I sit farther back, improving the comfort as well as my posture. Like I said before, I don't mind the plastic shell, and it doesn't really affect me. Nothing has cracked or broken in my testing. And I also love the metal base and the casters. It's easy to move the chair around, and I have carpet as well, and it still feels pretty smooth. Now, there are some minor things that I would like to point out. One of them being the lumbar support. It's just a flexible plastic and it still feels comfortable, but I would also like for there to be a bit of soft padding like what they use on the headrest, for example, or it could be a leather with a bit of memory foam. The major thing is I mentioned that this is a modular design, so they could easily come out with a lumbar support with some padding and sell it separately, and it's easy to remove and apply the new one. I'm honestly okay with that, and I would also like for the rail system for the lumbar to have some numbers and dashes, so I know exactly where I like it, so that when I have a friend or a family member sitting on it and they adjust it, I know exactly where to put it back for myself. I used a Sharpie to make a mark so that I'll know, but I would like for there to be numbers and dashes on the side for the updated models. The second thing is I feel like that the Air series doesn't go so high up compared to the regular DXRacer chair that I own. Maybe because I'm sitting farther back, or it just feels like it's just lower, but I'm not personally sure about that. Overall, I love the design and the build quality of the DXRacer Air series, and I will continue to be using this for my everyday workflow and for gaming. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys do have any questions or concerns, please let me know down in the comments below, as well as everything will be linked down in the description below. As well as you guys can use the code TAKEHD to get $30 off your purchase on their website. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. As always, TAKEHD, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!